This meeting is being recorded.
We're at 30 people.
Okay. Well, I would say we're probably good to get started. Thank you all for coming. This is a great turnout with a last minute session. Of course, you're all here because you saw my email yesterday about Lone Wolf Transact. So this is the new e-signature program that KW is going to be providing to you in replacement of DocuSign, of course. So I know people will have feelings about that. But I'm hoping my goal today is that you'll see the new system, the workflow, and see how much of an improvement it is over DocuSign. Sherry's nodding her head. I showed her yesterday briefly. Anyone that I've shown that has graced me with their presence as they walked past and I was doing stuff in there, I've been showing people and the feedback's been really good. So I'm excited to share it with you guys. So yeah, I'll be going through that today. I'm gonna do sort of a walkthrough of how to create your account and set that up, and then go through the actual workflow if you had a listing or a buyer. The intention isn't for you to follow along. I mostly want you to see it and understand it and just be exposed to it for the first time. We're gonna have a ton of training, a ton of resources in the coming months, both in person and Zoom as well. So don't try and follow along as I'm going through it. It's best if you just watch. I'll also open up for questions at the end, but if you need clarification on anything as I'm going, maybe just use your virtual raise hand under React. There's a lot of people in here, so that'll keep it.
So you don't want us to try and set up as you're doing it, just watch today.
Sorry?
You don't want us to try and set up our account with you today. We're just going to look at it for the first time.
You can. I'll be moving pretty quickly. And I will have, for at least like creating your account and stuff, I have a PDF that I'll be sending everyone with the steps outlined at the end. So if you want to follow along, if you have two screens and it's easy to do that, then definitely do that. But the purpose of this is more just so you see it. Okay, so let's share my screen. All right, so I just have a couple of slides to go through the account creation process. You do this in Command, but I've already done it, and so I can't do it again. So I have screenshots and steps to show you. Just to go over some of the features, you would have seen this in the email yesterday. The idea with Lone Wolf Transact is that it pulls the functionality of both web forms and DocuSign or any e-signature program. So it eliminates the duplicate data entry. You're not going into web forms, creating a transaction, filling out documents, then downloading it, putting it into DocuSign, sending it for signature. It all kind of happens in one place. The filling out of paperwork and sending for signature is in the same program, so no more downloading and uploading, which is great. The web forms are fillable within the program. There's built-in office templates, so we've created templates for you for both listings and buyers, so all you have to do is apply the template and all the documents you need fill in. And then those documents will seamlessly pull right back into Command, so you don't even need to download them out of that program and upload them. It all flows back, so everything starts and ends in Command. Everyone kind of has their own workflow. I've been asking people how they're currently doing DocuSign and web forms. There's a few different workflows you could be doing, and it seems like it's a good variety of people using all the different ways. So some of you are, filling things out in web forms, downloading the PDF, creating your room in DocuSign, and then putting things in Command. Some of you are clicking the Send to DocuSign button in web forms to then get things signed. Sometimes it's a combination of both. Now everything again will start and end in Command. The point of this, I'm going to show you the most efficient way to do it, because that's really the point of this system, is to save you steps, keep everything connected, and make your life easier. If you're going to try and recreate your old process exactly, it's going to confuse you more. So I would say come into this with an open mind, watch the workflow that I present to you, and then you can absolutely adapt it to fit how you want to do it afterwards. But I'm not going to show you if you do it this way, this is how you do it. If you do it this way, this is how you do it. I'm just going to show you the intended way to use it, and then you can tweak it from there. So this is just an outline of the new workflow. Again, this will be sent out after. The idea is that you're creating your opportunity in Command. You sync it with Lone Wolf from directly within the opportunity. You can prepare your documents within Lone Wolf, send for signature within Lone Wolf, and they pull right back into Command to upload and send for signature. So you're going to see that whole workflow play out. I just wanted to have it laid out for you here. So that. Getting started, the first thing you need to do is create and connect your Lone Wolf account. Many of you will already have a Lone Wolf account if you use Cloud CMA. That's a Lone Wolf product. You already have a login for that. It's going to be the same login. Okay. So your first step is going to be within Command. Click on your name at the top right and go to Settings. You will see under Digital Signatures and Transactions, there's now a Lone Wolf option, and you'll click on Connect Account. This pop-up will appear. If you already have a Lone Wolf account, again, if you use Cloud CMA or any other Lone Wolf product, you're just going to enter the email address, and then it will ask you for the password.
So I'm using Cloud CMA, but through Paragon.
Yeah,
And
so you would still have a Lone Wolf account.
oh, cool.
You can try first, and if you don't know the login, just go to sign up, put in your email. If that email is already associated with an account, you'll know because it will tell you you can't create the account. Then just go back and do forgot password and reset it. But if you do sign up and it goes through, then you know you didn't already have a loan account. Okay. That part's pretty straightforward. It will just prompt you through the steps. It will send a lovely verification code, as everything does nowadays, which you'll then put in to verify that account. And then it will show as connected in that settings section. So that's how you'll know that everything is set up properly. Okay. I'm just going to go into my command settings so you can see what that looks like. Mine is set up. So I have Lone Wolf here and it says connected. So as long as it appears like that to you once you've done those steps, then you know that you're good to move on. Okay. Any questions about that portion? Again, I have a getting started guide that has all those steps laid out that I'll be sending everyone after this. And you can always reach out if you have any trouble with it. Okay. Now, the next step would be starting your opportunity. So if you have a listing or a buyer, a lot of you are creating opportunities just to submit paperwork. This will kind of reframe it for you that you're creating opportunities in order to even start the paperwork. So your very first step, instead of going to web forms and starting a transaction, would be to start your opportunity in Command. Okay, so I'm going to go to opportunities. This also changed yesterday. So opportunities looks a little bit different. Of course, after I made all my guides, but that's fine. Now when you are in opportunities, you're going to click on create opportunity at the top. And now the opportunity type is in this drop down. So you'll choose listing or buyer from here. Okay. The first field is seller. So you need to have the client in your contacts in order to start this. Do Joe Smith, I have a lot of him, and pick the correct one. A best practice, I mean, you can create your contact from here. So let's say I didn't have Joe, I can click create new contact and enter name, email, phone number from here to skip going to contacts first. I would recommend going to contacts first now for this process because you want to also add their address. You'll see why later on. But the data in the contact record and within the opportunity also syncs into Lone Wolf to fill out fields on your forms. So the more information you can put in, the better. So yes, best practice would be to add the contact first. Dennis?
You say you have to do it from the drop. You don't have to do it from the drop down, do you? You can click like appointment, go in there, and then hit create from that section? Do you still
Probably,
have the,
yeah.
okay.
Anyway, you can also create them from the contact record also. Yeah. A new change, as most of you know, you were only able to add 2 sellers. That is not limited anymore. You can add as many sellers as you want to a opportunity. So that had given limitations before if you had more than 2 clients. I don't know if it's unlimited. I did 6 and it was still letting me go. So very few chances you'll have more than that. But then you would just click add seller to add Jane Smith as a second. Opportunity name, same thing. I'm going to put the property address. And then you do have to choose the phase and stage now. So that's in reference to the pipeline. If you're not using the pipeline for organization, just choose whatever. If you are using the pipeline for organization, choose the correct spot. Another big change is for listings, you're going to enter the address right in this space now. So I'm going to start typing it in. We'll pull all the addresses, choose the right one, and it fills the rest of that in. Okay. If you know any of this information, you can also fill that in. I'm just gonna leave it blank for now, but they've simplified this a little bit and made it a bit better, with the intention that this is the information needed for Lone Wolf Transact. So once you're all filled in there, you'll click on create at the bottom. Zoom out of the way. Okay. A lot of this process is the same as what you're used to. You go to the Documents tab and pick your checklist type. So that part's still the same. Then you're going to click on Sync with eSign Provider. If you currently use DocuSign and have that connected, this is what it's going to look like. When you click it, there's a drop down and you can choose between DocuSign or Transact. Once DocuSign is dead, that won't be there. This will just say Sync with Lone Wolf Transact. So there won't be a drop down. I click on that, it opened a new tab, and it has opened my it's called a transact. I call it transaction, but it's technically called a transact. You can see it named it the same as the name of my opportunity and the property information pulled in here as well. We also have folders for the same as what's in command listed under contract and closed. The next step is to click these 3 dots at the very top right and click Apply Template. Okay. You won't see onboarding here. That's because it's in my account. You'll see Nova Scotia buyer and Nova Scotia listing. So you'll choose the appropriate one. Mine is a listing, so I'm going to click on Nova Scotia listing. It will give you a preview of the documents and then click Apply. Now we have a folder of not filed paperwork with most of what's in is going to be needed for your listing. So you have your SDBA, input form, working with the realtor, some other things like equipment schedule, PDS amendments, termination, and then counteroffer. Okay. We have a folder of the FinTrack documents as well. And then another folder of other docs that you may need. So if it's, a vacant land listing, you have that here. You can just drag it up to this section, and then you have it accessible for you to use. You can also delete any that you don't need. So if it was a vacant land listing and you don't need the residential input form, you can just come here and delete it if it helps make it more visually appealing and easier to organize. Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's one thing with web forms. Once it's in there, it's in there.
Yeah. So these documents are essentially web forms documents. So I'm going to click on the SDBA, which is going to bring me into the form editor, similar to how web forms would. It has started filling the information out. So it pulled Joe Smith, his address, his phone number, and email from the contact record in command. So that's why I said add your contact first and make sure the address is in there. It saves you a step here. It will fill it in on all the documents that it needs to be on. This is the office information. You can change it from here as well. If you're in one of the other offices, I can show you also how to save it so it will always change for you. But we've just left it as this for now. And then the rest of it is all fillable. So you fill in the PID, the price. You do have to fill in your name here. Dates. The dates are a calendar, which is nice and convenient. The check boxes are all checkable in here. So again, you'll just go through and check off and fill out everything that needs to be filled in for this document. And it's filled in names there as well.
Jess, can I ask a question? It's Rebecca.
Yeah.
You might have said this and I may have missed it. Is there, like, you know how in web forms you can have it so it like standardly has a lot of that stuff filled out, like where it's the same every time, or for the most part, it's the same. Is there a way to do that here?
So I guess the brokerage stuff will filled in automatically.
Mhm.
Is there anything else that you would?
Yeah, like, you know, a property is typically migrated. Like if you're in a certain area, you know that it's migrated. So you have that like clicked off or
You
I don't
could. We didn't on the brokerage level templates because we don't want to pre-select things for you.
know.
You do have the ability, and I'll go through this after, to create your own templates
Yeah,
with the
okay.
web forms.
Yep.
So you don't have to use ours. You can create your own. So it's, all of your information's pre-filled in. We just obviously can't put some certain information in there.
Hmm.
With the risk of someone not changing it and then it's wrong and it's our fault.
Yeah, yeah. Fair.
So yeah, I'll show you how to create your own templates, especially if you're in the other offices as well. You may want to create your own SDBA with your address filled in, your name filled in, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've just created brokerage level ones for convenience for most, and then some of you will want to create your own templates. So you can absolutely do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
And
Dennis.
Jess, oh, sorry, go ahead, Dennis.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. I didn't see your hand there. Just following up on what Rebecca said. So let's say your address wasn't filled in there, the address of the seller. Once you put it in this form, does it automatically keep it going through the rest of the forms, or does each time you have to re-enter it?
Each time you have to re-enter it.
Got
Yeah,
it.
because
Okay.
these fields are they're mapped to pull data and you can fill them in, but data will sync from command to Lone Wolf. It will not go the reverse.
Gotcha.
So that's why best practice is to have the complete contact record. So then every time you don't have to worry about it. You fill it in once on the contact and it will populate where it needs to go.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Dennis?
Great question, Mark. So it kind of brings me a little bit around a bit. Where this is a template, I found that the templates that we had in the past, every time we had new updates to STBAs and PDSs, they weren't being updated in the back end. So this is something, my assumption is that you guys are going to have to constantly keep updating.
No. So in the past, if you're talking about DocuSign templates,
Yeah.
DocuSign did not connect to our forms natively. We had to download them as PDFs, upload them, add all the fields. And so, yes, if a form was updated, we would have to go and update it. These are a direct link sync from the MLS. So as things are updated, they are updated. The new APS that came out today is updated in here. So it has today's date on it. So it updates the forms. Yeah.
So to go back to Mark's question,
Yeah.
so right now we do the solid designated brokerage agreement, or let's just say it's a BDBA. We do a BDBA. We go and put an APS together. We put the offer in on 123 Main Street. Then we have to do an amendment. Does it automatically auto-populate the street again, or are we constantly putting that back in 123 Main Street, 123 Main Street?
It should be, so this, a disclaimer, These are mapped from MLS. There's always the chance that when it synced in, it didn't map a field correctly to pull the data from the right field in command. So the address should be here. I have a list of things that I'm submitting of fields that aren't mapped properly or things that aren't showing up properly. Of course, it's a new program, so there's going to be things that happen like that. As you can see, it filled Bedford, Nova Scotia from the property address, but the actual 222 waterfront isn't here. So it tried. It should also be filling in the address up
every
here.
PID, every time we have to input a PID and the address, it's not going to auto-populate over.
PID, I don't think so, because there's no field for that to sync from.
Right, because on the buyer designated brokerage agreement side, it's not going to be in command because you'd be putting multiple offers in different places at points, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, you'll see. We'll get to that.
okay.
Okay, so that's the fillable form. On the left, you're also going to see grab from transaction. So if you're in the SDBA and you're like, oh, I actually also want to do my working with the real estate industry, you can just drag that up. And now that is also here. And you can edit it. Okay. All the ones from your transaction are there. You can also click add and upload anything else. You'll have your web forms documents here, but you can click upload if there's a PDF you also need to add to this to get signed. You can upload any other document here as well.
And just in terms of compliance, I assume we can rearrange the order.
The order of the documents?
Yeah, so you can do your WWRI and move the other one. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Over on the right-hand side, you have your sort of toolbar here. There's listing info, so you can go and fill this stuff in. It will populate on here. So if I go and add the expiry date, it filled it in here. So you can fill it on the form, you can fill it in the listing info. Either one works. There's also offer info, so if there was an APS on here, you can fill it out from there. And then you also have clauses. So I synced mine to web forms. I don't have clauses in web forms, so I don't know if it syncs your web forms clauses. I haven't tested that. It might. If it doesn't, you can create your own clauses in here. And then you have the ability, when you click on any of these fields, to click add clause and pull from your clause library. So less copy pasting. You can save things to be put into those spots. Okay. All right. That is the form editing. So I would say this is the web forms equivalent in this program. Any other questions before I move on from this part to signing?
Jess, I have one. Sorry to interrupt because I don't know where my hand up is. If I were to go ahead and connect this now, you had said there was a drop down about connecting to a DocuSign. If I did that today, does that wipe out DocuSign for me tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
No. Alex?
Thank
you. When you just had up this editing tools, I saw strikeout and stuff was grayed out. Will that appear for us?
Yeah, so once we go to prepare signing, it's on that side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know why they show it here and then have it grayed out, but you can do all that in the signing portion. Jill?
Hey, so I was on a phone call, so I don't know if I missed this, but on web forms, we can import information. So if I'm doing a buyer, I can import the MLS and all the details. Is that something that we're not going to have the ability to do that here?
That is a work in progress.
Okay.
Currently, I don't think so. It has the functionality to do it. Funny enough, we have our MLS forms, but not that side of the
Okay.
MLS.
Okay.
So it is a functionality in there. We just have to get our MLS data added to it.
So that would be our MLS, but what if it would be it could be I don't know, another brokerage's listing, right? It would still pull from
it would be
there.
like the sync from Paragon, basically,
Okay.
all the similar to in command. Another disclaimer, I would just say this at this point. We are the only province in Canada that has access to this right now. I was the only Canadian beta tester since February. And so we're the only ones that our forms actually worked. Ontario doesn't have their forms. Nowhere else has their forms. So we're already way ahead of the rest of the country and actually being able to use this. And they're still making improvements because they need to get everyone up and running. So these things like connecting with all the MLSs, getting all that stuff set up is still a work in progress. But even since February using this, it has improved so much because we're able to give direct feedback through KW.
Yeah, when you say all the other provinces and you're talking about KW specific, because this is KW specific.
KW specific.
Yes. I feel like we pay a lot of fees, right? And some of the fees that we're paying with the NSAR and NSREC, web forms works for the most part. I mean, there's issues with it still. And there was ways to link that right straight through DocuSign. I just feel like there's a lot of repetitiveness and I don't know.
I encourage everyone to see it through with an open mind. Again, it's a new program. We're the only ones using it currently in KW in Canada. And there's obviously going to be room for improvement. I think it's still an improvement over the other workflow. There's going to be things you like better with web forms versus this, and you're more than welcome to still use web forms. This is just another tool in the toolbox. Again, you can use whatever workflow at the end of the day. I just want to demonstrate this one so you see how it's used. Okay.
Sorry,
okay.
Jess, just if you could add on to Jen. So, it isn't mandatory that we use this. So if people did want to use DocuSign, they can. And the whole point of you guys doing this is just to streamline it on the back end for you guys.
KW DocuSign is going away. So
okay.
The e-signature port, you don't have to use the forms. You can still fill everything out in web forms. Just come in here to get stuff signed. This is a convenience factor that the forms are in here. Similar, Loop has their forms synced in there. So similar setup that way. We're not going to force you to use this program, but you will need an e-signature program, and this is the one that will be free. So if you want to keep DocuSign, you would have to pay for DocuSign or use .loop, which is included with NSAR.
Jess, can I ask a question?
Sure.
If we're looking at like timeline and rollout and improvements, in terms of the timeline to start using this, do we have to use it now, or can we wait until like some of the bumps are like fixed?
You can start using it today. You can wait. DocuSign will go away. I'm saying mid-July. It's July 14th.
Okay.
At that point, it will be not accessible. So I would say you're going to hit a point where any new deals you're going to want to start doing in something else because you're going to get shut down halfway through.
Gotcha.
So we're going to address a lot of those kind of logistics, timeline, all that at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Jess, I just have a quick question. Sorry. So I know you say it's going away, and I understand that, but I'm still one of those hardcore .loop people. I pay for a premium account right now. Everything I'm seeing here excites me because it's going to get rid of the downloading and uploading that drives me insane.
Mm-hmm.
But the .loop button has always remained in command, so it didn't go away.
Correct.
So do we know for sure the DocuSign upload button is going to go away, or would it still be accessible, but somebody may have to pay to keep DocuSign should they want to?
So .loop will remain. That will stay. With DocuSign, because you have DocuSign Rooms, which is the real estate version of DocuSign, we have like a KW-wide contract with DocuSign to provide that type of account. You as an individual cannot get a DocuSign Rooms account.
Okay.
That is a real estate specific one for like an enterprise level organization. So you would have to pay for DocuSign e-signature, which does not connect and has never connected to Command. So because you won't have the access to Rooms, there's no way to connect it to Command anyway. So that functionality will be removed.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that for everybody else because some of us are still dot loop users, and honestly,
Yeah.
I don't care about DocuSign because I hate it.
Yeah. So if you're using dot loop, this affects you in zero way unless you want to change.
Oh no, I want to explore this. I think this, from what I've seen so far, this is going to be a much superior product.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna click on prepare signing now that I've filled everything out. This will pop up. The signing name is the main document because originally I only added one, so that's why it's just that one. You can change it. And then you choose the return folder. So once all the documents are signed, which folder do you want the signed versions to go into? So I'm going to choose listed because then that matches with command. Okay, so I've listed under contract closed and then obviously the other folders that were in there. And click create, which will bring us to like the DocuSign equivalent part of the process. So first you have to add participants. And you're going to do add from transaction, which pulls you and your clients from the opportunity. Similar if you were using rooms, it functions the same way. So I can select both. Now that I've added these roles, it has preloaded my initials and signatures and dates. So I didn't have to drag any fields. See the head
Okay,
nodding?
that's already worth it.
Yeah. Okay, you can still set signing order, same as DocuSign. So if you want Joe to get it first and you to get it second, if you want to reverse it, you just drag them. You can still add more people. You can also do, if you used to use like receives a copy when you were sending things in DocuSign, the signer type would be CC. So they just get CC'd on it and receive a copy of the document. So you still have that flexibility of adding additional signers, adding people to receive copies. Okay. So that's a big value add, I think. When we go back to certain things may not be mapped properly or fields don't show up, the working with the realtor sadly is one of them. So as you can see, the initials did not show up. So that is on my list of things to submit to them. So that's where I need your guys' help. If you're using this and noticing that, hey, that signature didn't get added, just make a note of it and send it to me so that I can get them to fix the mapping. Okay. If you think of the amount of documents that are across the country in web forms in every single board, there's so many and they all have things in different places. So there's always going to be certain ones that they didn't realize that field goes there, right? Someone manually has to come and do that. So we have a direct line to loan support and they can fix those things. I just need to know about them.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Can you like quickly add something like a missed text box or checkbox or something at this point, or
Yep.
would you have to go backward?
No, you can. So on the right-hand side, you have tools. And so that's where all of your signing things are that you used to have to manually put on with DocuSign. So in this case, obviously the working with the realtor, I need to, add the initial and add the signature. It automatically adds the date when you drag a signature also, which is nice. And you can move the date so it's in the right spot. You have check boxes like that. And then radio choice is if it's like one or the other, if they have to choose between two things.
Jess, does that show up for everybody? Because I noticed it's under Joe Smith. So if
Right.
Jane
So
was signing, she wouldn't see that X was checked? Or can you just do it for everybody so they can see it?
So you can.
Do you know what I mean?
So actually, there's two different ways. So it's a little bit different than DocuSign. So these are if you want the person signing to check the thing or to make the selection. If you're just going through, so let's say you missed this one, you would use a markup checkbox.
Okay. Perfect.
And you can just add your own. It says checkbox is an X. Strike through is here as well. Oh. And you also have line if you prefer diagonal. Function the same way. You have highlight, freehand is like handwriting, and then you have text boxes. So if you need to add any text box, so no more like trying to remember to assign it to yourself or make it read only. You just use the markup to fill anything else out that you forgot. You can also click back and go back to the previous page and fill it out. But if you've added any signature spots, those will go away and you got to redo it. So if you've already set everything up, I would recommend using the markup to do that. Okay. Any questions about this portion?
Hi, Jess. It's just Krista here. I use Authentisign, which is Lone Wolf, basically this. So the only thing I would say is the auto time has to be dragged over quite often. It will put the date in automatically, but it won't put the time. So that's just something that you have to remember to drag over. Also, just a question. So with Authentisign now, we have to provide certificates, signing certificates. So when it's part of our system, we won't have to do that anymore.
Well, this is actually Authentisign.
Yeah.
So Authentisign is built into this. That's the vessel of e-signature within this.
Yeah.
You don't get a Authentisign login or anything, so it's not another program to remember a username for. But it still does generate a certificate once this is signed. So
Okay, but we won't have to upload those because it's already in command. So we like now I have to upload anytime somebody signs on Authentisign, I have to download the signing certificate for everything they sign and post it on command. So that won't have to be done, I'm guessing, because it's part of our system.
I don't think so, but leave that with me.
Okay.
I would guess that if you drug the time over there, there's no need for a certificate.
Yeah, they still and still says we have to provide it. I have to provide it on everything that is signed electronically.
Interesting. Okay. Let me
Just
look
a
into
question.
that.
Thanks.
Yeah. The other thing I'll mention on here is something called layouts. So this is great if you have any documents where you're always having to add fields to. So the best example would be you have a listing and you're receiving an agreement of purchase and sale that you need to send to the seller to get accepted. The signatures and initials and whatever are always in the same spots. So once you do it once, so you would go through your
Hey, Jess, can you make note of that time not going over with the date and see if they can fix that? Please and thank you.
Sure. I'm going to show you this. And you can add more forms at this point too, which is good. If you were on the other side where you've uploaded a PDF, it's not going to automatically add those fields for you because it's not a mapped form. So you would be dragging initials and signatures onto that APS in order to send it to be accepted. Once you've added all of that, you can go to layouts and create a layout for that particular document. That way, the next agreement of purchase and sale that you're doing, you would go to layouts and apply a layout and choose the agreement of purchase and sale, and it will put all of those signatures and initials in the same spots. So you don't have to drag them every time. So if there's a document that you're constantly dragging things to, you might want to make one for the working with a realtor until it's fixed, just to save yourself a couple of steps. And again, you can do that for working with the real estate industry, and it will add those layouts to it. Okay. So there's another tool in the toolbox. Save yourself some time. We can't create them on the office level, sadly, otherwise I would. But you can create layouts and templates and such from here. Okay. Any questions about the signing portion before I hit send? Okay, once I click
Well,
next,
Jess, I have one. If we're getting an
yeah.
offer, I gather there's somewhere to upload into this for signing. Like this is
Yeah,
all
so you would just click
automatic.
add paperwork and then click upload and you can add the PDF.
Okay.
Yeah. For finalized signing setup, it automatically expires 30 days after you are sending it. You can change that if you want. And you can set reminders. You don't have to. You can also customize invites. So that's to change what the email says. Email that comes is pretty straightforward, so you don't have to. But if you did want to say something specific to any of the recipients, you can do that. Otherwise, you would just click on send. Okay. So it's brought me back to the Transact, and we're on the Signings tab, and it shows that that one has been sent. Okay. Paperwork is where we started. So any of your signings are also here. So a Transact is a room or a loop if you're a .loop user. A signing is an envelope. So that's the equivalent. So anytime you're sending stuff, you're creating a signing instead of creating an envelope for DocuSign people. I'm just going to sign those so you can see what that looks like. Any questions that I can answer while I get that set up?
I do have a question.
Sure.
So if we send that APS and then we have to send it to the other party, will it automatically upload on command first and then we have to download it from there and then send it to the other side, or how it gonna work?
Once it's signed, you can download it right out of here. You don't even need to put it into command to do that.
No, I mean if we are putting an offer, like if we are sending it to the seller side, if I'm representing a buyer, and it'll be just signed one side, right? The buyers have signed it, but it's not an official document until it's been accepted.
Can we
Right. So
just
you
attach
would,
a new person and send it?
sorry?
Can we just attach a new, like add a new person and send it? Like send a copy?
You could, yeah.
That's how we do it in, like that's how I did it in .loop when I used .loop, right? You can just add the listing agent or the buyer's agent, whatever, whoever you're sending it to,
Right.
and send it directly from the program.
Yeah, so you would get a signed version back in here. It doesn't automatically go into command until you put it in there. And then you would download it and send it, and they're going to send you back an accepted one, which you would then not have to put in here because it's accepted, and you would just upload it right to command.
Yeah, so I think those are two different questions, but I think what he was saying or asking is you have right. This comes down to it's easy for the listing. So the BDBA, our buyers sign the offer, we send it, and now what he's asking is how do you upload it back in through command? How do you get it back? Like, do you just do it as normal, or is there like how does this work now? Do you throw it back into the Lone Wolf, or you do it just the normal way?
I think what he was asking Dennis was how do we send it to the agent? Like
Well, we went over that a second ago.
once
I
our
mean,
buyers.
I was asking the both, like, so each time if my client send an offer and then we have to wait until it get accepted, and now it just get not accepted for say it's multiple offers in the other side, and then I'm doing another
Uh,
offer. It'll be like it'll be automatically uploaded in command, or how that will be
the version 1, version 2, version 3 thing.
Yeah, so if it's not accepted, you wouldn't add it to command. You have go back here. This, you would basically say, usually it will, if it's a buyer, it will say accepted or rejected. So if they didn't accept that offer, you would click rejected, and it basically like command how it has version 1, version 2. It'll create this as a lost deal, and it will refresh the checklist for the next one.
and it will be not be automatically uploaded until we do it over here to, okay.
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jess, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I think I got lost there. So currently in our signing platform that we have now, once a buyer or buyers sign an offer, it will automatically send it to the listing agent. Is that still an option?
Yeah, you would just add them. So when you're adding the signers, you would just
Okay.
click add new,
Okay.
and put their name in as
Listing agent.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just signing this as the client. I added a lot of signature spots, apparently.
Jess, will you be running through the buyer's side as well, just so we can kind of see what that would look like?
Yep, I can do that.
I know there are times when I've submitted an offer on the buying side. If we do this, I assume we can download that to send. Um, and then when we get it over there, and let's say they reject it, but we know we're going to come back in with a clean offer again, we can still use that same form and do that. We wouldn't necessarily reject, we'd just edit what we have and send it back over.
Yeah, you can do that as well.
Okay. And because we can go into the not filed, and I think at the bottom is all the signed stuff, we can just grab an earlier version that isn't signed and edit that.
Yeah, so you're going to see that right now. So this
Wonderful.
signing just got completed. I sent an SDBA, for example. You can pretend whatever document, it's whatever document. So in the not filed, my SDBA is still here as it was. When I scroll down in listed, I have those documents that I had added to the signing. So there was 3 there because I dragged in the agreement and I also added the working with the real estate industry. So they show up in that return folder. So when I started it, I chose what folder it was going to go into. And they're here as PDFs. So if I click on SDBA, it shows the completed version. I didn't sign as the client, I just forced it to be completed. That's why it's not showing his initials. But if I go back to the form, the SDBA, I could create a new signing. So if you went back to the old APS, you could essentially just change this. You still have the completed signed version as a PDF, but then you can change the form still to be resent. So when you get the form signed, it doesn't actually affect the editable versions that are in your template. It only affects the completed one.
Yeah, so it sounds like it just makes a copy of it with the signed version, kind of creates a new file, files it someplace else. You can always go back to that other one and do whatever you need to do to send it back out to get it corrected and signed and et cetera.
Correct.
Lovely.
Yeah. Some other side notes, logistics wise, you'll notice FinTrack is in here. You don't have to use this to fill out FinTrack if you use FinTracker or you fill it out in Adobe or wherever. But the fillable FinTrack form is in here. You will notice there's only one FinTrack in there because each form can only be added to the template once. You can't have 2 FinTracks in there. So as you can see, I opened it. This one did pull the property address. So it's meant to pull the address into the forms. The SCBA is just not working properly, clearly. So it pulled the transaction address, pulled my name. You would choose the date that you're doing it. And then obviously this is all fillable as any FinTrack would be. So if you have 2 clients, this is your best workflow for this. Do the FinTrack for your first client, fill everything out. And then up here, click download and single file. And you'll get a PDF of that completed FinTrack because this doesn't get sent for signature. So there's nothing to sign. Once you have that PDF, it's all filled out. Just stay in here and change section A to the next person, especially if everything else stays the same. Then you don't have to redo it again. You have a completed one in the template. And then you're just changing the name, date of birth, occupation, all of that, and then click download again. And you have your 2 FinTracks. So it saves you doing it over and over. At first, I thought it was inconvenient that there couldn't be 2 FinTrack entries, but this actually seems better because then you don't have to double it up, right? You will also notice, because this doesn't get signed, it doesn't put a signed version in here. So you'll see you'll have to manually upload that PDF into Command, but that will make sense in the next step.
Jess, sorry, quick question. So it can only have the FinTrack, the proper FinTrack, but if you're working with, say, like a business or a corporation that's buying and you have to do 2 FinTracks, it doesn't count. You just can't have the double form, but you can have the corporate one and the personal one
Yeah,
down
the
there.
corporate one's here. So you would click corporate.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and all the other ones are there as well. Something that you all can do when you're in here, when you click on add paperwork, you're going to notice a button at the bottom, and there'll be reference to this in the guides that I send out, that says link Creo web forms libraries. So that's how you can get all of the web forms documents in your own to create your own templates. You will have the KW synced forms, which is Nova Scotia Association of Realtors, lowercase. And when you connect web forms, you're going to get the same folder again. You just know it's web forms because it has realtors in capitals. And the FinTrack. The FinTrack ones are not added from KW. So if you want the FinTrack documents in there separate from our templates, they'll be in there because you're using our template. But I do recommend everyone link to web forms anyways, just so you have everything if you did want to create your own template. And you have upload here. So again, if you did want to add your FinTrack so it was in here, the completed one, just to keep everything in the same place, you can upload any PDFs that need to be in here as well. Okay. But you don't have to do that. You can put it right into Command. So once everything's signed, and you have the signed versions, you're basically done with this until you need to get something signed again. So I'm going to go back to Command. I'll refresh this. If things are signed while you have the Command tab open, you'll probably need to refresh it to get it to work. But when I come back to Command, you'll notice that it's set to attach files from LW Transact. And then instead of browse beside each item, you have a drop down and it's pulling those 3 signed documents. So if you were a DocuSign Rooms user prior, you'll know that when you did this and pulled documents in, you had the originals and the signed versions. No longer, it only pulls the signed. So there's no confusion. You can only upload signed documents. Okay. So I'm going to select working with the real estate industry. I go to next. I can't select that one again because I already did, so I can't duplicate it. Choose seller designated. Yeah. Okay. If you need to add anything from your computer, you just change those attached files from to my computer, and then you can browse. So I would browse for that FinTrack that I just filled out and downloaded because I didn't need to get it signed. And that's why you have to do it that way, because you don't get the FinTrack signed. It's not a signed document, and thus it will not pull in through the drop down, if you will, without pretending to sign it, which is just extra steps you don't need to do. Okay. So you can always go back and forth between my computer and Lone Wolf as you're filling in your checklist, because you're going to have various things that are in both places. Okay. So I just filled out my documents, sent them for signature, got them signed, and added them to Command without ever really downloading or uploading anything besides FitTrack. Okay. So that's the efficiency side of this. I didn't have to log into 3 different programs, Command and DocuSign and web forms. It's all in one seamless workflow if you do it that way.
What?
Okay. Questions? Anything? I can show the buyer side as well if that interests you.
I think this is going to be great, Jess. I love how easy it's going to be. I know there will probably be a few hiccups along the way, as there always is when we do new things. But the goal is to have something that it just increases our efficiency and it's all together and all in one spot. My one question I have is, where is it at for teams? Because I'm seeing everything individually.
Great question. So for teams, every team kind of functions differently. Every team member is still going to create their own Lone Wolf Transact account. So don't make any like central team accounts. The reason I say that is because if you look in your settings, for DocuSign, I can disconnect it. For Lone Wolf, I cannot. This account cannot be disconnected once it's connected. So if a team was to create a central team documents login for Lone Wolf, and then someone leaves that team, there's no way for that person to then connect their own account. So that's the first thing I will say. Every team member will have their own Lone Wolf. For teams, when you're creating opportunities, I'll switch to my team account. The assignee field is going to be very important for you. So Janice, I think you would probably be set as the owner. Actually, the owner is now the team. The Rainmaker used to be the owner, now it's the team. So anyone on your team that you would like to have access to the opportunity and also the transaction in Transact, you'll want to make sure that they are set as assignees on the opportunity when you create it.
Okay.
Pretend you're my seller. Yes. When I create this opportunity, my team, and I sync with my e-sign provider, you choose who the main listing agent or buyer's agent is. You can choose two. Once you do that, and it creates the transaction will be shared with anyone who is an assignee on that opportunity.
Okay.
So if I go up, we're at the same place where you apply a template and you click share, you'll see who has access, and it's these three people. It creates a share group for that opportunity.
Okay, great.
So yeah, for anyone who is on a team, if someone's covering for you and needs access, or Janice, probably for you guys, you just always both work on the same things. So just always make sure you're both assignees. And then even if you created this one, Maureen would be able to log into her Lone Wolf and also access the same Transact.
Okay. So that looks like it's very similar to what we already do anyway. Like you already have be able to access both, like for both of us. You have to have it set up that way or else it just doesn't show up on command.
Yeah. And most of the time, like even if you were using web forms, you're still creating the opportunity, you're still adding the assignees anyways. And so it's just now it's seamless. There's not an extra step and an extra program. The functionality is just connected. So
so the other person, so for example, if I was sending things to be signed and Maureen was connected to it, she would not be able to send things to be signed through my account. But she would be able to
she would log in under hers. But you both can come to this screen and like add paperwork and send for signature. If she's actioning the signing, when the clients get it, it's coming from her. If you're actioning the signing, it's coming from you. But it's a like collaborative.
Okay, perfect. As long as we can both access it, that was my big question.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'd love your feedback as you're actually using it in real life.
Sure.
So.
Oh, we'll send you the questions.
Yes. Because there's always going to be things I don't think of. Obviously, I'm not licensed and not doing your day-to-day workflows. So there's going to be things you hit and you're like, how do I do that? Those are the things I need to know and questions I need so I can provide that feedback.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, actually, if you go over to the condo schedule and you put in the amenities, the condo amenities, or what the condo fees include, do you actually have 250 characters, or is it still 25? I've been trying to get them to change that for the last 2.5 years. That's on the web form side, so.
This one?
No, sorry, not the residential input
Oh,
form. Sorry. Sorry.
uh,
Just be under the condo section for residential input form.
section. Which one were
Yep.
you? Which field?
Probably down further, general information.
The condo.
Right there includes. Yeah, it says the condo fee. No, condo fees other. Monthly condo fees. There's a section where you I can't. I'd have to go look at it again.
Yeah, I mean, like inclusion said
Scroll.
500 characters, but there's no way you're gonna actually see 500 characters in this size of a.
No, but you can write it though. That's the thing. You can actually write it in there. The other one only allows 25 because it's been a mistake forever that they didn't do the 0. It's down further, I think, Jess. I feel like it's down for, I don't know. No. Back up again. Where is this?
They did change this recently, so I don't know if it's.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's updated now because there was never checkboxes for like electricity, heat, hot water,
Yeah, it seems
element.
like it's just. That's
Oh,
what
it's
they've
changed.
There's no field for that. That's probably why they didn't fix it for you, because they were changing it.
Well, I've been asking the last 2.5 years though, and then no one's done anything about it. All right, cool. I'll take a look at it later.
Yeah, so that's fillable. The only thing I will mention, because we don't have that full connection to MLS, if you are someone who fills out your input form and then clicks send to Paragon or send to MLS to create the partial, that does not work with this because it's not a direct connection, sadly. So yeah, that's the downside. You may still want to do your input form in web forms if you use that function.
That's something that's gonna have to stay in web forms then, because I love that feature.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can create standalone forms in web forms without doing the whole transaction. So you could do that just for your input forms. But yeah, there is the button up here that says push to MLS. It just doesn't do anything because we're not connected yet. So I'm hoping that once we have that backend connection with the MLS data, that that will function. But it makes me hopeful when the buttons are there and they just don't work because they can make it work. They're not adding a whole feature, right? So. Okay. There is the import property data button here, Jill. So similar to what you were asking. So it does have that there. I don't know how that will work. Tax source.
Do you know? Well, I see it says state and zip code. Do you know if that's going to be Canadian?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because originally when this came out, this button for Korea web forms didn't even exist. There was no option for you guys to link it. That came within the beta testing. So they're constantly making improvements to it. Lone Wolf Transact is a newer program for Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf's been around forever, but they've been very responsive with support and any things that I've asked for. So, yeah. When you're to log into this without going through command, so let's say you've already created the transaction, you don't have to go through command every time. The link is platform.lwolf.com. Sometimes it puts you into personal. You'll just want to make sure you're in Transact Command Edition up at the top. And this is where you'll see all of your transactions that you've created. So you don't have to go through command every time, just the initial starting of it, similar to DocuSign Rooms. And you'll see templates at the top. So this is where you can create your own templates. You can click Add Template. Maybe you call it, I'll call listing for this. Your ownership will be personal. and then you can come and add paperwork, whether it's from the board or upload PDFs. You should also note there is a folder called Keller Williams MC873. That is our documents, so acknowledgement and waiver form, buyer schedule, referral form, and team schedule. So the ones that aren't web forms documents, it's ones that we've created that you need to use. So those are in here, and also field mapped. KW has done that for us. So if you need to add those to your template, they're in there. And of course, click link web forms to get all the FinTrack documents as well.
So are we downloading the Authenticite, an app or anything now versus
Nope.
There's no app to use from our phone?
So there's no app, but it is built. So you use like your web browser to go to it, which is the same link, platform.lwolf.com. But it is built mobile first. So it is very user-friendly on your phone, which web forms is not. So that is an improvement. You can't do you can do the command stuff. Command is not built mobile first on the browser.
No.
But the creation of the paperwork and stuff, you can do all that very easily from mobile. I can see if I'll be able to share my screen here.
And Jess, in the chat, can you put in the website for the platform as well as the mobile information?
Yep.
Thank you.
Here's my chat. That. Just going to switch to trying to share my phone screen too. Stop share. Can you see my phone screen?
Yes. Yep.
Didn't like that. So I can go to my transactions. Click the plus to create a signing, or if I go to paperwork, I'll just click seller designated. What did I do?
So if I wanted to import a document for, let's just say, a buyer, right? Or my seller, we got an offer and they're going to accept it. I'm going to input it into here. I'm on the fly using my phone.
Yeah.
I guess the main question is how would you upload it and then just throw it into e-signature?
So you go to signings and click create signing. So call it APS. The return folder would be under contract and click create. Add document and then do upload and then add document from, I'll do my computer. And so you'll save it in like Google Drive or your files from your phone. So you would like, choose files and go to wherever that document is to upload it. I don't know that I have any.
See, the benefit now, I just did it recently, is I got an email of a document that I signed for taxes. So I was just able to click it, send it straight to DocuSign, and was able to get it signed. It was easy peasy.
So you need to save it to your files and then just come in here.
What's the name of the app?
It's not an app. You're just
There is
on
none.
the web, like go to Google Chrome or Safari.
Oh, okay.
The nice thing with that is you can save it to your home screen if you're using Safari. So from Safari,
Sorry, Sherry.
Just he finds a way, man. He finds a way because I'm an Android user.
there's probably a way on Android. I just don't.
Me too,
Thank you.
Sherry.
Solidarity, Alex. Yes, thank you, Janice.
Okay, there's
Appreciate it.
3 of you.
Yeah, always choose the better option, Sherry. Go Android.
Always, always.
Take your
Right?
iPhone apart and find out how many parts say Samsung on them.
Right? They break down enough, you could take it apart.
If you use Safari on iPhone and go to that link, so platform.lwolf.com, click the 3 dots and you do add book. Let me just see. They've changed this around. Sorry, they've changed this, so
For the Android users out there, just add it as a bookmark on your search.
okay. So you click share and then add to home screen and call it Lone Wolf or whatever. And click add, and then it added this L here at the bottom right. So it does. Then when you click that, it will just open Safari instead of Chrome, sadly. But you can use it that way. So if you're going to use it on your phone a lot, I would bookmark it for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's definitely more mobile friendly. It sadly does not have an app like DocuSign e-signature did. But you win some, you lose some, I guess. Hopefully they will have an app in the future. I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah. Any other questions? Anything else? I know I originally scheduled this for an hour, but I mentally scheduled it for 2 because I figured there'd be lots of questions and extras to go through. I'm happy to show anything else that you guys want before I go through kind of frequently asked questions, transition, all of that stuff. You're quiet now. So yeah, if you're using .loop, if you're paying for DocuSign, doesn't really affect you. You can switch to this if you want. I will say for people paying or planning to pay for DocuSign, just be aware for their plans, they limit you to 100 envelopes a year, which is not a lot. We were looking into it because we use DocuSign as a market center, and that's just not feasible for us. So
I just
oh, you're muted, Alex.
saw one that had 100 envelopes a month.
It's a year.
Oh, it says month.
Does it?
But it was 400 some bucks a year to have it.
When I they did change it. This one was not there last week. It was 5 envelopes per month or 100 per year. And I even reached out to sales and they told me that was what they had. Now there's magically Business Pro Unlimited that has unlimited envelopes. So disregard what I said if you want to pay.
But I'm seeing a standard for 33 a month. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I see where our differences are, but yeah, there's that pro. And either way, it's profitability. Don't spend it. Use the free stuff.
Yeah. Especially because then you won't have
You're
rooms
awesome,
if you book
Alex.
room. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, you're gonna lose functionality and pay a lot extra. to keep DocuSign. Dotloop is there as an option. You do get that for free through the board if you choose to do that. Then your workflow will stay the same. But so yeah, DocuSign will go away as of July 14th. I do recommend getting into this sooner than later if you are a DocuSign user and you're switching to this, because like I said, July 14th, it's done. If you're in the middle of a transaction, you can't get into it anymore. I'll have instructions to send out for how to export any documents you have in DocuSign. If you've already uploaded those documents to Command, they are not affected. It's just whatever's stored natively in DocuSign. So if you've sent stuff for signature and then never did anything with it, or never downloaded it or put it into Command, you'll want to get that out of there. I would say most stuff you've probably submitted, so it's a non-issue, but just something to keep in mind. Also, if you are doing DocuSign rooms and you've set this up and you've created a room, you can't change it to Lone Wolf once you've done that. So if on July 1st you do a listing and you started a DocuSign room, July 14th DocuSign goes away, you can't then switch it to Transact. You have to do that one manually for the remainder. So you're going to hit a point where anything new you're going to want to start doing through Transact so that you don't end up in that limbo where DocuSign goes away in the middle of it. It won't prevent you from doing anything, just it will prevent you from doing it efficiently. So something to keep in mind. Let's see what else here. Chat. Oh, you can add it to your home screen on Android as well. Perfect. Yeah, so I'll show you this. I have a frequently asked questions list. How does Transact help me recover quickly when a deal falls through? So if, let's say this deal fell through, I would click terminated. Go to one that's, you would click fell through, sorry, once it's actually had stuff signed. You click fell through, it'll reset and copy details. So it'll copy your parties, so your sellers, buyers, whatever it is, as well as you and the brokerage. You can choose that the property or listing information stays. So this was a listing, you could click that off. Any offer details, and it will reset all of the paperwork as well. So click reset and copy at the bottom. So now it's a blank template, and your old one is over here under lost deals. So similar to in Command where you'd have version 1, version 2, you do this so that you don't have to create a new transaction, because that would also require creating a new opportunity, which you don't do if a deal falls through. So there has to be a pathway for that to reset. And so then all of these will be reset to template defaults, basically. Any questions about that part? Let's see what else here. If I go back to opportunities, any of the fields that you see with this little recycle looking icon, that means it's a field that syncs into Transact. So the seller, the address does as well as the contract price. The list price should, it doesn't. And when you fill in contract price, it puts it in the listing price on the SCBA, which is not right. So maybe don't use that part yet until they fix the mapping, but again, that's a work in progress. Let's see what else here. Is there any other questions that I can address, or concerns or comments? Anything? No. That's an overview of it. Obviously, there's going to be scenarios you run into where there's specific things you have to do. We'll kind of come to those things as we get to them. I'll have a full training intended for you to like sit down and do the thing while I walk through it. This was more just to give you a chance to see it and voice your concerns or questions. I will have videos, so there is actually already in answers, which I'll put this link in the chat as well. I will send it to everyone. But in answers.kw.com, there is a section for Lone Wolf Transact. So this one is the command workflow, which is essentially what I just went through, showing you sort of the steps to get through the process. We've got how to create and connect your Lone Wolf Transact account. Again, I have this in a PDF I'll be sending you, but all the step-by-steps are here as well. So it walks you through and explains everything. How to create a Lone Wolf transaction from an opportunity. Again, we walked through that as well. So that has all the steps. So I'll share this with everyone. Also in Connect within Command, I'm just going to search Lone Wolf at the top. I will send a link to this. But there is a whole section with videos in here as well. So how to upload documents, how to create a signing, how to start the transaction, creating your account. There's videos for all of that, which I'll have links to. But this was recorded. I'll post it so you guys can reference back to it. And then I'll have probably at least bi-weekly training, probably weekly to get started as everyone's kind of getting into it. And then I'm here to help if you guys have questions or concerns. Again, please let me know if you see any forms that aren't populating correctly or data that should be pulling in isn't, or signatures aren't showing up. I'm going through them one by one, but there's always going to be things I don't notice because I'm not actually filling out the forms. So you guys are my eyes on the ground, basically.
You just want that in an email, Jess?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
If you tell it to me in person, it will sieve out of my brain. So in writing is always good because then I can just add it to my list and give it to support. So as things are updated, as you know, MLS functionality is enabled or forms are added or things like that, I'll be sending out updates. But yeah, I think it's a great starting point. Works better than most things do when they're first released to us. Yeah,
Where do we go again to set it up? I can't remember.
Yeah, so you just go to your name at the top and then settings in Command.
Yeah.
And then next to Lone Wolf, you click Connect Account. Again, if you go to sign up and it says your email's in use, it's your Cloud CMA login.
I've actually just, am I still, I haven't moved. I actually just did it, and even though I have Cloud CMA, I just punched in. I just didn't do it through Command. I just did it through the thing that you just submitted. So my KW one.
You'll want to do it through here, otherwise it won't connect to your opportunities.
Mm.
But you created your account, so now you would just click connect and sign in to the one that you made. Yeah. Not like DocuSign, where if you didn't create it in here, you were SOL. Yeah, you just log into it. So, but having it connected in here is what allows you to click that sync with Lone Wolf Transact to have everything sync from Command. So you want to make sure you do connect it in here, even if you create it outside. Okay.
Will it give me the option to do DocuSign or Transact on an already going? No, it has to be a new one.
If it started with DocuSign, it's DocuSign. So that's kind of where, when you get close to that July 14th date, anything you have ongoing, you'll want to start with Transact. Again, it won't prevent you from using Transact. You can still go into, I go back to transactions. You can still create transactions from here and start a listing and add your templates, and it'll function almost the same. It just won't pull any data from Command or pull your documents back into Command. But it's not like you won't be able to send stuff for signature. It just won't be efficient because it won't have that connection. But yeah, once you start a DocuSign through an opportunity, you can't change it back to Transact.
Okay, so like I really run my opportunities like pretty deep. So like any buyers that like I haven't, like I'm looking at a buyer that I've been talking to now that I've had opportunities for a while. We've yet to start any documentation, but when I just went into their room, it only says go to DocuSign room. So I'd have to delete that opportunity and recreate it.
Have you created your Lone Wolf account in settings?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so in that case, it's probably more convenient to just archive that opportunity and recreate it if there's nothing been submitted to the office.
Yeah.
It's where, like, if you're mid-listing, that's where you're going to run into it. I wouldn't recommend doing that because likely the listing's already been like broker reviewed and that creates a whole flaw. But yeah, if you have ones like that where it's a buyer and you haven't done any paperwork through the room or submitted anything, it's easier to just go through and recreate it, sadly. Yeah.
So I'm already running into issues. I'm trying to set it up. It says state or province. There's no provinces.
You don't have to do that. I did the same thing.
But it says like what's your MLS.
Oh, don't do that part. Don't do the MLS.
Well, I can't continue though. So don't up.
Just exit it. It's already connected.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Because our MLS isn't loaded in there, I've already made the requests to get it in there. But again, we're the only Canadians, so it hasn't opened to Canada really yet. We're just, it happened to be a fluke that we have all our forms because I was in the beta. That's why we have Nova Scotia.
Should I be worried under agent experience? I just connected mine and I have my login, but it says hi Crystal. Should I be worried that it's Crystal and not me?
Yeah, I know. Mine said the same.
Okay, good. I'm not going to be worried then. Okay. Everybody's Crystal.
Yeah.
Can you send me a screenshot of that, please? See, these are the things. Yeah, anything that seems weird, just send me a picture. It might be nothing.
I'm already past it, unfortunately, but yeah, it says hi, Crystal.
Yeah, I like how you just accepted it as wrong, and I'm like, no, this isn't okay.
I'll be Crystal today.
I know who I am.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I don't know how to do the TRS. I can't even follow Aaron's video. I tried. I'll need to set a time with you.
We did not put a trade record sheet template in here because we want you to use the electronic one.
Yeah, which I can't get to work.
Why?
It's human error, but it won't work.
Oh, okay.
I try to follow her video. I need to set a time to sit down with someone. It's not working for me.
Send me an email, Dennis.
Yeah.
Cool. I just sent you the screenshot of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right,
That's
so
a weird one.
yeah. I'm sure they'll be weirder.
Yeah. Next steps are connect your account, create a play opportunity. You don't need to submit anything to the office. As long as you don't click submit to MC, you can do everything else up to that point and just make like a fake opportunity just to play with it and see how it functions. Test it out, add yourself as a contact and send things to yourself or spouses or kids or whoever to test it. Yeah. Just try and break it and tell me if it does, basically.
Oh, we will. Don't threaten us. We'll find a way to bugger this up.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
This is going to be really, really cool. So I'm going to go back through and look at the how to connect and how to set up and make sure I've got it all okay. And
yeah.
Should keep the office off my back though.
Yeah, because the office is the problem.
I didn't say they were the problem. I said should keep them off my back. That's all I said. I didn't say who. I know who the problem is.
Yeah, so I'll be sending out an email with the recording of this, some links to resources, that getting started guide, as well as a schedule for some upcoming sessions, both in person. I'll be heading down to the South Shore as well as the Kentville office in the coming weeks. So I'll have dates for those as well. Thank you, Paul, for your excitement. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you run into any issues again, send me screenshots, let me know, and we'll work through it and make sure that we get things fixed, or hopefully there's a workaround if it's not working.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks, Jess. It says a lot about you and the brokerage and their relationship with International that we are the only Canadian brokerage that is doing this right now.
Yeah. I will say it also had something to do with that they couldn't get the forms to work anywhere else, and we were the only ones. But it was good. It was nice to see. I always complain that they release things, and as like tech trainers, we don't see it before you guys see it. So I had to jump on the opportunity to actually see and test things before it gets rolled out. So, yeah, work in progress, like everything, but I think it's a good starting point with what it has.
It looks really, really exciting, and it definitely seems way more streamlined. To Janice's point earlier, it seems way more efficient. I love that. Now, of course, my brain is now geared to all the little things that we have to do, so it's going to be interesting to eliminate steps and not feel like I've missed something. But I will
And
adjust quickly.
that's why I wanted to say at the beginning, just like don't try and compare like this step equals this step and this step equals this step. Just look at sort of an overview of the new workflow. Because it is, even if you were using DocuSign Rooms, which was more streamlined than any other way, it's still better than that. So,
Yeah, that's very, very cool. All right. Well, and now for those of us, the 30 of us that were initially here, we are a step ahead of everybody else doing this. So we're going to be like super users.
Perfect. And this was Zoom only, so you all get 2 points for the leadership.
Thank you. I don't know who's tabulating these
Sherry.
points. That's right. I did kind of.
Do I get 5?
No.
Just because it's you, Paul.
Just 2? No 5?
Just 2.
Just 2.
You're special, just like everybody else.
I did my hair this morning, Sherry.
Yeah. There was a lot going on here yesterday.
The
You have
beard
no
looks
idea what
clean.
I was dealing with. The whole
All right,
thing.
I gotta fly. Thanks, Jess. That was great.
Yeah, that was great and very handsome hair, Paul.
That's awesome.
Have a great
Thanks
day,
so much, Jess. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank
Bye.
you.